going to go here. Guys, just so you know, let me spotlight this. If you're talking, people won't see your face on this recording. It'll just be us. Let's make sure the volume is up, please. Great. And then we're going to go on to gallery view. And we're live streaming this on Instagram as well, but only us here on this call are going to be able to ask questions. So let me just do this. Let's see. Support call, EDub. And make sure the Bluetooth is off here. Ready? Ready? Here we are, Dad, working together again. Do you want to put that on the tripod? Or are you happy?
I feel like it's gonna fall right here.
Yeah. Okay, so here, turn it this way. All right. And are we recording here? Yep, recording to the cloud. We have Daryl, who's going to be handling our recap. We have Daryl, who's going to make sure that everything is in its right place. And on the support calls, I am subbing and Magic is doming. So let's take our clothes off. So why don't you start? You can just say hi to the people. Let me make sure that people are on mute here, and you're going to have to ask them to unmute themselves, Daddy, by going to this button when you hover over there. So you can share a little bit, and then if anyone needs help, just please raise your hand over here on Zoom, and I'll be back once Tiger's diaper is changed.
Okay.
You need anything from you?
No, not right now. All right, y'all. So my name is Magic, and I'm here on this support call to just help with any issues y'all are having on the erotic side of things through this erotic wealth journey. In the past, this is more with couples, but we were sort of trying to be relationship coaches, and that didn't work out. We were just having the same conversation over and over again, making no progress with couples.
He said, she said, also stuff that didn't work when
Back
we
and forth.
did it.
And you can never, we do this all the time. You can never replay an argument and have an exact image and then word verbatim of how it happened. Someone's always hearing something differently than what somebody said. That's just how it is. So
True, Dad. But it doesn't matter what happened. It's like, well, why is it happening? Because I can go so crazy hashing out here's how we got into this situation, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, well, why are we nitpicking about this? It's like, oh, something's imbalanced.
something's imbalanced, and figuring out that specific argument isn't helpful. What is the most helpful we found is, are you in or are you out? And there's always going to be something that you can change. There's always going to be something that your partner can change. Everybody's got to change to move forward, pretty much. And if you're single, or if it's just you, something in you needs to change. Some pattern that you're repeating, that you're self-sabotaging again and again needs to change. And so, are you able to make that change? Are you going to keep doing the same repetitive action, being in the same motions, even if your life's, textbook great? Are you going to stay there, or are you going to go to the next level by changing something that's uncomfortable, that you probably know that you need to change? Maybe you haven't pinpointed yet, but are you in or are you out is the biggest thing here. So I'm going to bring it to y'all now. If anyone has any questions, raise your hand. Either raise your physical hand or raise your Zoom hand, and I'm gonna do my best to call on you. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Right here. SW, cool. Asked unmute. Where'd you go? Oh, here we go. You should be good to go.
Okay. So I don't have a business at all.
Okay.
However, when I first saw the erotic wealth, the way that I heard it talked about was that it was something that you guys did that elevated your relationship. And that is what I am searching for, is just something to make my husband and I closer. We had a baby 7 years ago, and it just hasn't been the same. Like, we're together, we're in it. Like, that's like not even a question. Like, we will go through anything together. Um, I mean, we didn't have sex for months,
Mhm.
and he like had to sit me down and say like, this is something I needed the relationship. And it was just really hard for me to want to give that to him. Like, it felt like just it didn't feel like I'm giving you a part of myself that doesn't want to be given, and it just doesn't, it feels icky. And so that's what I'm looking for with this. So I just want to, I guess, say my intentions out loud and have them be accepted, because I think I think the way that you have created things, they can be used multi-purposely. Like, even if your intention is maybe for business, maybe I can learn how to love myself and love my husband and have that grow with the erotic. Does that make sense?
So
I came like running
yeah,
in
yeah.
when but
You don't have to work on the business side of things.
let's find out why things are like this in the relationship. Because something she's missing something.
Mhm.
She's missing something, and that's why they're missing something, and it's probably something wealth related. Let's find out why things are like this.
Okay. So what is y'all's financial situation like? Who's working? Is someone working? Is someone at home?
So he works, he's the main breadwinner. He works for the railroad, so it's not consistent, but he makes enough to pay for everything.
Okay.
And then I'm a waitress and I work on weekends. So whatever I make, we get to spend on grocery money and like fun trips and stuff like that.
And
Um,
are y'all both happy with that behavior?
um, we want more.
Hmm.
I started with Safehouse in January, and I did the ritual,
Okay.
and just like writing our finances down, like, oh my gosh, like it made it feel like we had like twice as much money. Like, just watching, like, oh look, we spent our money here. Like, um, and then me, then Fuckless was next, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna start this business. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And then it just like I just stopped.
Mm, 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 mm.
Go for it. Speak.
I think it's really interesting though, because it's like, I don't want to do this for business. Yeah, you do. And that's okay. And that's okay. Masculine and feminine, when they're not balanced, either in one person or in the relationship, magic's not going to be possible. Talk to her for 1 second because I got no coffee.
Okay.
I'll be right there.
All right. So I'm not going to be able to see what's in Onami's head. I've tried that before. That doesn't work. And so when she comes back, she'll finish her thought here. But it does sound like the business side of things is something that needs to be addressed. I just from being out and about, I've talked to some guys that have worked for the railroad, and it sounds like a hard gig, uh, unless you end up being promoted, and then there's still some stability in it. But a guy I know that's in the railroad is pulling all-nighters. He's working night and coming back in to do kids, to shuffle them around. But it's a crazy schedule. It sounds like a crazy hard schedule to be working, and he's in a good position. So he says in the railroad industry, and it still sounds super tough, super challenging to adapt like that, to work nights and then jump in with the kids and supposed to be present and happy and all that. So to me, that sounds challenging. If if y'all like that situation, keep doing it. But it sounds like you saw something in ritual that you wanted to go for, and it just felt out of grasp for whatever reason, and you stopped going with it. And that's okay. That's okay to slip back and feel where you are and get even more uncomfortable and then want to come back into it with more, like I'm not gonna stumble this time, even when things get tough.
But let me ask you something, because this is with everything sex related, where it's like we sit around being like, oh, why don't I want to have sex? And when we actually look at the conditions, it's like, why the fuck would you want to have sex in these conditions? How is it possible for libido to thrive here? How is it possible for desire to exist here? And when one person's got a lot of it, it's like, yeah, that might make sense for you. But if it doesn't make sense for me, when we look at it, there's usually going to be some clause. It's like, duh, of course I wouldn't want that to happen. So can you tell me what an average day in your life looks like for you?
Yeah, so I wake up and sometimes my son is awake, sometimes he's still asleep. We have breakfast and we do a lot of sitting around.
Great.
And then I try to clean, I try to encourage us to like do activities. And then if we have something planned that day, I try not to plan too much stuff. Um, and then there's just, yeah, I feel there's a lot of wishing that I do different stuff during the day. There's not much going on. Like, yes, I understand. I hear your voice in my head a lot. Like, well, get the fuck up, girl, and do your shit then.
Yeah, but also
So,
it's a duh. It's a duh clause. So
okay.
play a game, tops and bottoms. Well, actually not tops and bottoms, because it's dominant or submissive.
Okay.
So dominant loves to make a plan, stick to the plan. Here's the step-by-step path we're going to take to reach this goal. And this is the masculine energy. And this kind of shitty thing about being in marriage is you can be like, I have a man. There's a lot of masculine energy flying around, but you're never really going to be happy if your own internal masculine and feminine aren't balanced. You're not going to be happy. I'm reading this book right now talking about, it's one of my favorite books ever. It's like a manual on black magic, only it's called propaganda. That's what you guys might know regular old black magic as. It's called The True Believer by Eric Hoffer. It's considered like the Bible of advertising. So you're basically being bombarded with this all the time. But he was talking about people that are very susceptible to mass movements. And he goes through all the different types of poor people that exist. But an exception to this rule are creative poor people, because even somebody, let's say it's like the family cobbler that just loves doing their family business, and they might not make a lot of money, but creatively they're lit up. This makes them immune to that big void that cult leaders and politicians and stuff usually strive to fill. And this is because they're doing something that lights them up. Now, when we have a partner in the picture, we can say, I don't need feminine energy because I have my wife following me around, nagging me all the time. When you say, I might not need masculine energy because my husband's here telling me about the lint thingy, so I'm good. But dominance and submission, you have to be able to have both of these for yourself. And dominance is not topping, it's not bend over. It's what's the plan, what's the strategy, and how are we going to get there? And when you don't have any of this in your life, especially like if your partner's on a very rigid schedule, it might feel so good for you to be the total opposite of that. But when you describe your day, it's all water. There's nothing holding it in. And if water doesn't have boundaries, then it's just like a swamp. It's a stagnant, muddy pond, which can be a home to all kinds of different evolutionary processes, but it's not directed and it doesn't have a flow because it's just sitting. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So why don't you tell us, Daddy, I have to learn how to like release control and let magic lead these calls. But if anybody, okay, we're figuring it out. If anybody has a question that Magic can't answer, he's just going to write your name down and I'll come in and clean up the second part of the call with any answers. But what was it that you had a plan of working on in Ritual? What came through for Ritual?
Doing like a food truck.
Doing a food truck.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And
Yeah.
so we're at the food and yeah, and tell me when you burned out.
Like right before I had, well, I like drew pictures. I came up with, I even got an LLC. I
Mhm.
had menus. And
Mhm.
then it was like, well, I have no money. So cool. Good job.
Mhm. There we
I
go.
did something. And then,
Okay,
so
so
then go
pause
ahead.
here. Let's pause here for a second.
Okay.
So, like, if I was your husband and you're like, I have this plan, I'm going to do a food truck, like, I'm really super psyched about it.
Yeah.
Would also, when it came time for the paycheck, it's like, we're going to need a truck. We're going to need materials. There's a really high margin for error. You did really good on the white magic line, and then we hit the black magic line, and also just the straight up limitation of not having money. We're on the white magic line right now, so it's all big vision and stuff. But once we hit lesson 4, we're going to be on the black magic line, which is like where we get bombarded with, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to get out of this. Oh my God, I'm never going to have any money. Oh my God. And we eat fears. So we just go around these things. But if you're like, oh, I don't see this being a problem, by law, we're going to get there. So she hit the black magic line, which is like, this is a high margin for failure. It also costs money. You don't have any of that. You're also looking at something that is quite time sensitive. So we're going to do
Yes.
this in the next lesson where it's like, we have to return to the why. Like, why is it that you want to do this? So, and let's see if there's any spark. When the erotic is dead with something, we go back to the first time we ever experienced it. It's called starting with why. The same way where your kids can piss you off all year long, but when it's their birthday and it's time to write that little birthday post, and you say, oh, my little baby was just little shit ass back then, you know, and all the feelings start coming up again. You can do that with your relationship. You can do that with your business. You can do that if with anything. The pattern unfolded that first day. So why did you want to start a food truck?
Well, I wanted to go to parks, and specifically my target audience was moms, and I wanted to give them the chance to make better memories with their children because there was
Let's
plenty of,
pause here.
go ahead. Yes.
You wanted to start a food truck because you wanted to be in parks.
Yes.
And did you want to be, and you wanted moms to have a better experience at the park?
Yes.
Have you ever worked in a kitchen?
Yes. Yes, I'm a waitress.
Okay, but have you ever worked like on the line?
Yes.
So would you enjoy a park if you were in a food truck there?
Not me specifically necessarily. Yeah.
Well, look, it's okay because there's
Yeah.
really good. I'm not yucking a yum, and I'm not saying that a yum isn't possible here. But when we were in ritual and we did the ikigai, which is like, what are you good at and what can you make money on? What did the food truck idea correspond to this? Or because it seemed like to me, being in a park is one
Yeah.
really nice goal. But
Yeah.
if you're doing a food truck, you're going to be in a food truck, not
Right.
necessarily in a park. So I just want to make sure that these two.
For that one, I think it was being able to accept people where they are in
Mm,
their journey
mhm. And
and just,
where are
yeah.
you in your journey right now?
Um, I would say I'm somewhere where I'm trying to figure it out. I have gained a lot of happiness this year, but I'm still trying to figure out how to hold on to it every day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand. I understand. I understand. I heard in a sweat lodge one time that the difference was in happiness. So it was like the word like allegria, but I'm pretty sure it means like the difference between happiness and joy. And if you're praying for something, to pray for joy and not happiness, because happiness comes and go. I'm literally quoting Eric from Lodge right now. Uh, so funny, right? But happiness is something that comes and goes that you want to hold on to like every single day. And joy is the background frequency of your life. Joy is like a vibe, and that never goes away. So pursuing happiness is always going to be like a fresh reset every single day, something you got to eat. But joy is like how your body absorbs life. It would be like that. So I completely understand. And I'm just to draw it back to everyone. We can grow a business. Sex magic is really good for growing a business. It's not always great for starting a business. It's actually really not great for starting a business because starting a business is frustrating and it takes time and there's no magic and there's no trick that can make it happen overnight. But here's where this applies to her situation and maybe your situation as well. Your partner might already have a business. Your partner might already have a business and be happy with the way that business is growing. And if there was a little bit of extra time, you could start your new one. This could be a configuration that she could have right here. That something new could come in once we've stabilized the existing business. But the existing business has to be stabilized or set passive first, not completely, but enough to offer up some time so that maybe on the weekends, she could go completely into doing what she wants to do. Now, let me ask you a question. When you ran your food truck idea by your husband, how excited did he seem about it?
Oh yeah, 10 out of 10.
Out of 10, he was excited
Yeah.
about
Oh
it.
yeah, he's 100%. He's like, let's figure it out. We'll take out a loan. We'll do this. We'll do that. Well, like yeah, he's the best.
And so even though he was like, let's figure it out and let's take out a loan, what happened when we got to the I don't have money part?
I don't think like we could have another payment on our list,
Yeah.
as well as I don't even know if the bank would give us money.
Yeah.
Like,
And this
so,
is totally valid. And in the 0 to 40K business strategy that we talk about in the ritual, which is our money course that we do, you can take it at any time of the year. 95% of our students start with ritual. A lot of couples start by doing ritual together, but we do it live at the beginning of the year too. So don't do it now. Just wait and do it live with us in January because it'll be more fun. You can wait. Delayed gratification. But in the 0 to 40K business strategy, where we talk about the Enneagram of getting to that first 40K, there's no, in magic, it's not money up front. Like in magic, we would never spend money until 0.5 of the Enneagram, which represents lesson 6 in all of our workshop. No money down until the plan is secure. Nod your head if that sounds okay to you. No money down until the plan is secure. We're not buying inventory and holding it. There's no reason to do that. We can guarantee that something is going to work. We can simply guarantee it. Is it going to be more time investment? Yeah, that's fine. But you have time. What you have right now is time. What you don't have right now is money, but that's fine. Most of the people that have a lot of money don't have a lot of time. So in the ritual, we talked about active, passive, and neutral income. And also in yesterday's class, we talked about active, passive, and neutral income. These are constants. We'll talk about active, passive, and neutral time in our next lesson. But neutral income is the audience. So it seems like if you were saying, I'm going to build a taco truck, but I don't have money, taco truck would be active income because you're exchanging money for time. As far as passive income goes, that's only going to be possible once these locations expand and you have a team running it for you. Passive income, you can never go straight into passive income. It always has to start as active income. The only exception to this, I would say, is fiction books because it doesn't need to be tested on anybody, but you always need the neutral income. You can't write a book unless there's an audience of people that want to write a book. Why would you start a taco truck unless there was a whole range of people that were already so fucking obsessed with your food where you could guarantee that people would be lined up with this taco truck? And you're looking at like 1 to 2 years of business where you are actively building that with no money down until the audience is so steady that they just, when you open a location, you're guaranteeing that you would be sold out before you even open the doors. And let me give you an example of this because hearing about this woman's TikTok changed my life. I heard about a woman with 140,000 followers on TikTok, who was doing food delivery out of her house. You guys, I have to tell you, I have to tell you, who here loves food?
Yes.
Who here like can really food? I can really food. She does this delivery service out of her house and she takes, you know, those to-go containers that are like tin on the bottom with the plastic top and you have to pinch around the sides to close it. She takes those, like salads usually come in them to go. She makes cornbread in
Mhm.
the foil part of the container. She bakes the cornbread and then she scoops out the center of a cornbread. So think like a bread bowl for soup, but with cornbread. And then on that cornbread bowl, collard greens, beef stew,
Mm.
mac and cheese, yams. I'm not talking sweet potatoes, you guys, yams, different thing. Like, and she loads up this cornbread bowl and sells it out of her house. You guys, I eat just like meat, basically. I can't eat anything on that plate, but I'm dying to put this thing together because what a good idea. Imagine how fucking good that cornbread is, especially under the collard green location. Stop. And then you know what you get? You get the holes too. You get the holes in a separate container. To me, bam. She started this with no, and you know what she said? She said, I like this because it's quick cash. I used to always just cook because it was quick cash. Quick cash. Love the sound of that. Now she has 140,000 people that are not following her. That's her neutral income. I'm sorry, that are not in her location, but that are just like, damn, you make amazing food. Now we love neutral income. You know why? Year one, she's selling food out of her house. Year two, maybe she has a to-go location. You know what's so nice about a to-go location? Oof, very minimal staff. You guys watch The Bear? It's the sandwich window, the no drama aspect of it, the original plan that worked. Easy, easy. COVID, a lot of businesses adapted this in COVID. Great business plan for food. But you know what she has in maybe 5 years? Let's say she has 300,000 people on neutral income, and someone says, you know what? You should have a freezer line. You should have a freezer line in every single grocery store. This shit is bomb. That's the power of neutral income. So in the ritual, we talked about neutral income. And here in erotic wealth, sometimes the partner in the relationship has a job that works for them, that works for the family, but they have a boss and they don't control it. But the hard part about this is that this job is taking all of the time out of the relationship. And so something needs to be, but here's the thing, you have a lot of time right now, more than enough time to do neutral income, more than enough time to start to say, this is the food that I'm known for. And you're going to start hearing comments for years. You should have a truck. You should have a truck. You should have a truck. And if you want to be in parks, you can have that now. Go to the parks and talk to the mom. I just wish there was this thing here. I just wish that I spend every single night packing lunches for my kids.
Mhm.
And I would so much rather be hanging out with my kids because it sucks to have to food prep. I wish somebody just made prepped lunches for kids and my kids could pick their menu every single week. I said, here's this. And then you deliver the prepped lunches to me. Or I give you the recipe that my kid, and you handle that for me so that I can spend my time at night not prepping my kids' lunches the way that they have them viral on TikTok. Like there are so many different ways that this could change. Now, neutral income is both social media, so you could do it that way. Or if you wanted to build neutral income in person, go to those parks and talk to those moms and listen to what they need. But you're looking at like 2 years of bringing your plan back to life before money goes on it. And when it's time for money to go on it, it'll be so obvious. She has this, she's built this. People are telling her all the time, this, that, this, that. It's only logical that this would be the next step. But right now it needs neutral income, and that's no money down. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'm going to recap something for you so that we can move on to the next person. We have these support calls every week. Why the hell would you be horny when your whole life is just about going with other people's flow? It's not like, why? And if it's the same thing over and over again, think about the last 2 times you had sex. Think about the last 2 times that you had sex with your partner. Was the sex life-changing? Was it this new place that you've never been to? Just like everything else, it's the same. And this happens, guys. This is passive sex. I remember this man told me one time who was going through a conscious uncoupling at 60. I was like, who gave you a new age book? This guy spent fucking 45 minutes writing Rich Dad, Poor Dad affirmations every single morning about how he was rich. He said he'd been doing it for fucking like 5 years. Homie, you are so broke. When are you going to put this down? But he was saying, that my wife never wanted to have sex and she was so cold and my wife never wanted to have sex. Like it was all her fault. I said, bro, she didn't want to have sex with you. It is just as much on you. I guarantee you, if this was a scene from a romance novel, she'd be stoked. But you're 50% responsible for that. If you're 50% responsible for that, don't think that you're some stallion. Be impossible to refuse. Bring something new to the table. So there's a responsibility on both of us for that. And one more question for you. Are you wanking when you're horny? Are you wanking?
Not typically.
Okay, cool. So that'll be a really easy fix because if when you do get horny, you're wanking, that load goes away.
It's not fair. Yeah.
Well, it's not that it's not fair. It's just how would you ever be horny at the same time if you're taking care of each other personally? Like you're still having lots of sex. You're like, oh, we're not having any sex. Not together. But the thing is, you're having sex with someone you love, yourself. Great. It'll only improve. But these are like the duh clauses that I'm looking for. And something that I really hope to change in the world is like how long we can all sit around for blaming ourselves for not being just like, yes, like you have to be feeling like that in all of life to be able to feel like that in sex. And unfortunately, pulling up the sex, even though I've heard other teachers, you guys can watch my podcast with Kim and Onami, like trying to say, oh, if you just have great sex in your life, everything else in your life will feel like great sex. Like not true. And when you force yourself to do the same old 3-minute song and dance with somebody, it doesn't make you more excited about it. It makes you less excited about it. The erotic principle is excitement dulls with every repetition. So if the sex is repetitive, it's only going to further embed that pattern of like doggy style, you on top, me on top, up, hang on, leg over the shoulder. And it's boring. You'd have every right to be bored with that. So let's work with this for now. We'll catch up for you on another call. But basically where I should have helped you out more in school if I knew that this was going on. We tell people in Fuckless, if you get stuck, don't accept being stuck, to come to Q&A and say, I'm stuck. My business idea doesn't seem to be going anywhere. We could get out of the mud there. But what you need to do is you need to keep this little fire of the masculine, your plan. You need to keep it alive inside of you because that's going to grow into like the biggest balancing force in your life. It's going to take pressure off of a lot of other situations. And if you want something to eat in the meantime, how I built this podcast, listen to all the ones with female CEOs. You'll see that they all started their neutral income just like this. Can you do erotic wealth? Yes, you absolutely can. You can do it with your husband. The business side might not be he might get a lot out of it and say, ooh, that's actually really cool. You might be happy to take in this information so that you can have business conversations with him when he's down to have it, even if it's irrelevant. But for you, it's only focusing on building the neutral income. Get that social media, get that word of mouth, and just make it happen. There's proof all around you that something like this can work. Okay. I'm going to bring my husband back. And I just need to be open to whatever it is. Like the truth, I just need to be open to whatever it is. Maybe I can drop control and be like, okay, I won't do it, but I'm learning this with y'all, just like everything else. The hand of love. Okay, go ahead, Daddy. All right, who's next?
Let's see. All right.
Baby,
Michaela.
A big conversation.
Hey, Michaela.
Hello. Let me lower my hand. All right, yeah, thank you so much. So I kind of have like a twofold question, and it's on like focus and surrender, but I think the loudest one is primarily surrender. I'm a manifesting generator, so I can spread a little bit far, very far. Um, but I feel like the thing that I've been struggling with the most is surrender, because my solution is always to act, because I generally do have enough like force to act at all times. Um, and so taking that like surrender time, I think it becomes more challenging as I notice my finances deplete. And it's very interesting because I've had a career for a very long time as a music teacher, over 10 years running theater camps over the summer. And it's been very good and very successful with little to no advertising. But I've been wanting to scale and, build some passive and do all these things. And this year, strangely enough, like I've had parents like complain about prices more than they ever have, which they haven't, and I haven't really changed the prices that much, just like with inflation.
Mhm.
And like fewer kids are signing up for my one-on-ones, and it's like been a smaller year. Like I've had up to 26 kids sign up for two different theater camps, and then this year like there was like maybe 8 to 10 in each theater camp. So it's like there's this interesting where I'm like, okay, I don't know if I want to surrender right now, because I feel like because I'm like, I'm going to be advertising and I'm making posters and stuff like that. But also, it is in pair with like living in a home where the expenses are different, and like, the heat bill was unexpected. Like there are a lot of unexpected things. So I'm I'm kind of riding at like a rough place financially right now.
Mhm.
And surrender is something that I know is probably the step I'm missing, but it's scary.
Remember that?
Girls are making loud noises behind me.
Remember when I was in labor with Tyga and I was like, I surrender to these
Yeah.
contractions.
Laying down, hoping the baby would come out.
And
Well,
it's like,
you needed to rest for a moment.
Mhm.
You needed to rest for a moment, but then it was time to get up and get to work.
I was trying so hard to like be like orgasmic birthing. So I was like, Russians, I surrender. It's time to push.
So yeah, this baby's not gonna come like that. So this is your gig. Are you the only employee?
I'm the only employee. In my theater camps, I hire kind of a semi-volunteer counselor, so they're like a student. They get an honorarium.
Okay.
But for my like private lessons, it's just me right now.
When we get to lesson 4 of erotic wealth with her, we're going to have to really pay attention, because figuring out the part of her music camps that can scale, because it's not just going to be like, oh, we do online music camp, fucking shoot me, right? But finding the part of her business that does scale is going to be a difficult one.
I
Yeah.
did do so one thing that I am doing for scaling that I've been working on, but slowly, and maybe my perfectionism is getting in the way, is I'm creating kind of like, because I was homeschooled and I ran like a homeschool group for a little bit, which is weird because it's like they came to me, so it wasn't really homeschool because I'm not their parent, but whatever, it was a group for homeschoolers.
Yeah.
But I've been creating like little lead magnets, and like whatever I do, like if the kids have a puppet thing, then I have like a little book of how to do your handmade puppets and like write your own musical with your kids. Or like I have like a creative freedom piano book where it's like you can teach yourself and or your kids piano at home. So it's like basically everything I teach, I'm making it very simple and like within the lens of like how I would have appreciated it as a homeschooled kid.
So would
Uh,
you say it's a evolving curriculum, or are you pretty set in what you're doing year by year?
Well, it's a mix. So like the basic principles of how to play the piano isn't really evolving,
Right.
because it's just math essentially. But then it's like it's math, emotion, and body, like brain, body, feeling. And so that stays the same. And then every time I like work with like a private student and something comes up or whatever, I'd like write them a song, or I something comes up with a clarity, I'll stick it somewhere in the book
Mhm.
that clarifies, but like the points are all there because it's just an intelligent, like the learning the piano is a very like system that's very clear.
Yeah, we're on right now.
Question for you, the people that come to you, do they want childcare? Are they there because it's someone's watching their kids, or do they actually want to teach? You may or may not have the data on this, but
I appreciate that question. So basically during COVID, we started like this little homeschool group, and I think that was definitely accidentally childcare, which was not the point of it. I was in childcare for a very long time. And I think the challenge is when people complain about price, I'm like, this is technically cheaper than childcare. Like it's $8 an hour, but because it's a group, I'm getting paid more than $8 an hour because each parent is paying $8 an hour. And like the issue is like millionaire parents are complaining about the price. Like it's not the parents who are struggling with finances. They're like, the parents who struggle with finances are like, can I pay you in 3 parts? I'm like, absolutely, because they value the education and they're like, we love that our kids are getting this education. It's actually like, yeah, it's very strange.
question of the day, why do millionaires scrutinize the price when poor people don't?
Yeah.
And here's the reason why, is because nobody got $1 million by blindly buying things. At the French Laundry, which is like a double, has multiple Michelin stars, they use green painter's tape as opposed to blue painter's tape to label all of their containers. Why? Because it's seriously $1.30 cheaper to get green than blue. And at a restaurant that has a massive wait list, they care about saving $1.30 a month. So nobody got to millionaire status by blindly buying things. Now, how do you get someone to not care about the price? If what you offer is unique, if it's the only one that exists, or you have been vocal enough online or in your community to where it seems like you're the only one doing it. If you're the only one doing it, the price doesn't matter. If they say I could get music lessons anywhere, they're gonna squiggle and squoggle about that price.
Well, it's interesting. They don't squiggle and squoggle for my privates.
I love that we use the word squoggle too, right? It's on root
Squiggle
system.
and squabble and bibble and bobble. But yeah, it's for my theater camps. I have had multiple people tell me that like what I offer is quite unique because I write the musical for the children. We do an audition process where they're kind of part of the cultivation, and it's very, very, very like intimate and highly curated. Um, and the caliber of the musicals is very good. Like it's not talking down to children. So I've had parents say like this is better than theater camps in like, full on like bigger cities and things like that. And I've had students go professional with their acting and things like that. I would say it is quite different because I'm also in the field and teaching the field versus a lot of like music teachers are like, no offense, but they're just music teachers. They're not like music teachers who are also like walk the walk. So I do feel like what I offer is quite unique. But it is strange because the word of mouth like has often just been word of mouth and it's been fine. But now that I'm like wanting to scale and maybe it's just like a sense of belonging, or maybe I'm like forcing too much now and like trying to prove myself or something. But I am actually now being more vocal online about kind of my expertise in that versus before it was just word of mouth and that was quite solid.
Cool. Let me collapse this out for her. Will you do me a favor? Will you pull up the text messages on there and text me? How do I know when it's time to surrender? I'm going to answer your question in 3 parts. We're going to answer focus. We're going to go answer surrender. And I'm going to tell you something about your business that you're going to have to accept. Accepting something is surrendering to it. When it comes to focus, the answer is always focus. Always, especially for a manifesting generator. Focus, know what the finish line is, and see something all the way through the finish line. When you've gone through the finish line, then you can stop focusing on it. You will know that you are focusing in the correct way when you have some type of a step-by-step strategy. This is where I'm beginning. Fuckless lesson 1, I don't have any passive income. This is where I'm ending. Fuckless lesson 10, I have passive income and a sales funnel. You have to know, and if you're not doing, we use the Enneagram to create that to-do list. All of our workshops run on this. But for you, if you don't use that, or you're not using one of our workshops for this, you need to make a step-by-step to-do list from origin to completion. And until that to-do list is done, you keep coming around and checking on it. You can use Notion or whatever. Regarding surrender, how do you know when it's time to surrender? Well, the red line of magic, the last phase of any magical process is when it's time to surrender. And we'll let you know that's literally called red magic, literally called the line of surrender. How to know this in practical terms. Have you made an offer as best as you possibly can? This is my theater camp. This is the start day. These are the amount of tickets we have available. This is when the cart closes. I am not lowering the price because you say you can't afford it. I am not changing the dates. The price is fixed. The time is fixed. And now you surrender because you have brought the horses to water, and whether they drink or not is up to them. But on an Enneagram or in erotic wealth, when does it come to this time where we start surrendering? After we have completely built out the offer for the next round of our business. Is it going to be the most lucrative offer we've ever seen? Probably not. It'll be seeds planted. At the same time, we've freed up some extra time for ourselves, but it's the new wing that we can go into. For example, if we were talking to our case study that we just spoke to back here, if she was doing erotic wealth on this plan for a taco truck, this is when she would take the idea, I'm going to do a food that's like this, that I've become really well known for. I'm going to make a YouTube about it. I'm going to make a social media about it. I'm going to talk to the ladies in the park about this. Once you have presented this cohesive offer, not I think it's going to be something like this, a cohesive offer. It's going to be like this. I'm going to charge this much. I'm going to sell it right here. Once that offer has hit the market, then it's surrender time. Of course, you keep telling people, yes, come and buy it, but you can't control how many people are going to buy it. It is only when you have done your absolute best and you verifiably know you've done your absolute best and that it cannot be improved on this round. Next round, we can improve it, but the dates are fixed and the price is fixed and we did all of our preparatory work, and now we have to say, bring me who you would have me serve. So that's the exact time that we surrender. White magic, the first steps of an Enneagram, is about defining your will. Black line of magic on the Enneagram, bottom part of the triangle, is when we go through our fears. Final line of the triangle, red line of magic, and this is when we surrender the whole way through. That's exactly when. But if you're trying to know this in basic terms for yourself, you have to ask yourself, how do I know when it's time to surrender? And the only analogy that I can give you is when I was in labor with Tyga, I was really trying to surrender to the pain to make it go away. And how you're kind of doing this right now. I hate the way my finances are looking. Things are going down the drain. I surrender. I accept this. No, I do not accept this. This fucking sucks. I hate this. Get this stinking baby out of me now. Then it's time to effort.
Okay.
Sometimes
Yeah, because it doesn't feel good to surrender when it's draining. Like, it doesn't feel good. It's not gonna feel good.
Dude, and people that are free birthing or birth in general, how do I know when it's time to push? Because it'll feel like the only fucking thing you can do. There's nothing else that you can do except for push. And even though it hurts like hell, it feels so good to be able to do something. You're like, well, at least I'm doing something about it. When I was like on my postpartum weight loss journey, I was like, look, if I'm not doing anything and I'm sitting on the couch, I'm allowed to talk shit to myself. But if I'm doing something every single day, if I'm showing up and moving my body every single day, I can't talk shit because I'm doing something about it. At least I'm doing something about it. And that's that. So you need to ask yourself what you need. Do I need to be like, I love this even though I hate this? Or I did the best I fucking could? We'll just do it better on the next round. And we walk you through this step by step in erotic wealth. Cool. Okay, great.
Thank you.
Let's go to the next question. We have plenty of time here. We have 40 more minutes.
Ella. Got you there, Ella. Hello, Ella.
Hi.
That's why.
Just took a second, the connection.
Yeah, it took a second.
We know her. So she has a really cool,
Yeah.
cool business where she's basically the fuckless process. She basically does this for other people all the time. When it's time for her to do it for herself and scale up for herself, she's like, but she's got cool business. She's got like my favorite kind of business because I'm like, yes, you understand it takes work. Go ahead.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So I started my business, and then I started with ritual, and I manifested because of ritual like a high paying tech job. that
Mm.
is amazing. Like I'm at home, I can look after my kids, I work a bit, and it's like it's so well paying and it's amazing. But now my head and my it's like my masculine side is now really happy. Like I feel so proud. A lot of my trigger has gone away with money and everything.
But
But so now I need my
feminine.
business to be more feminine.
Yeah, there's
Yes.
no feminine in it
Because
because it's
I
all tech.
can't,
Yeah.
I can't, I just can't. It's
And
like
you're like, I
now
want
the to do, yeah,
it to last time.
it's not working anymore. It's like, how did I do all this stuff for my clients before? And I'm like, my brain is melted. No.
What's the creative
So,
project that you want to do?
yeah. So what I do now is I am crazy good at creating AI photo shoots and video shoots of people, like really realistic. But my specialty is like really fantasy style. So it looks like you, but you're on a dragon or you're with a phoenix. And like I love to create offers. So it's really creative and it's so much fun. And I even bring some astrology into it. Like if you have your mean Venus in Leo, that's what your brand should feel like and stuff like that. But it's like the selling part is like I don't maybe I shifted too much or too quickly or too many times. Now it's just really like energetically really blocked. And also we're sick all the time. So I feel like there's
Hmm.
some things like, oh, do you
Hashtag
have any tips?
generator problems. I started too many projects. I totally.
Mommy.
So what happened? Hi, kid. What happened to the tech job?
To what?
What happened to the tech job?
It's still, yeah, I'm working. I'm working on it's perfect. It's every afternoon he takes his nap and I work.
Okay, cool. So
Wow.
am I hearing this right? That we're looking, so we have the
Get
masculine
ball.
side online. And
Yeah.
we have the feminine side is there with the AI portraits and this new art medium that you're working with, but we haven't been able to successfully monetize that AI portrait part of it.
Exactly.
All right. I mean, these are really good seeds. This is something that we would resolve. This is something that we'd resolve in erotic wealth. I'm happy that it's on my radar because I'd be like thinking about you when we go through these different things. But basically, what's missing in this creative side is the masculine strategy. So all bring the masculine stuff that you know works, for example, from Buckless, but all of your experience with this. We need a customer avatar for the AI. We need to do market research and find out who actually wants this. We need to find a way that how would our existing customer really like to have something like this? What hole is this filling? For example, maybe people that want, like for example, fiction writers might want to have AI generated content as trailers for, this is something that I actually want, AI generated content at a good price point for their characters, like the world of content creation and people saying, I don't have the time to do this, but I would like something like this. I'm cool with it being AI. I want it to be AI. I think that all it needs is to go through, but this is something that you know, because your customers come to you with, I'm blah, and I need to be, and you just need to take your own idea. That's all. Like right now, you have these two wings of your business, and it needs to be yin yang. So both colors on each side, constantly turning, constantly in motion. Right now, you're trying to create, you're either taking an all hot shower in your tech job or an all cold shower in your AI job. You need to learn how to turn both of the faucets on to create the masculine, feminine temperature that you want. So your tech job needs a little bit of creativity that will come, but your creative job needs a lot of tech, and that's something that you can do right now. So you just need to think of it like with your masculine side. But if this helps with your customer avatar at all, I have actually I was experimenting with this. I very much want a lot of trailers for my book. I may or may not use it. I don't know, but I was experimenting with making AI clips for these trailers that I wrote the script to, that I was like, oh, I would love to see this in video form, but with AI, because that's actually what I want it for. And for content creation, like that is something that I was looking for. So if you put something like that together, please don't let, there's a really good chance that I'd be like, no. But if that sounds kind of like in the general direction, someone like me would use something like that. And I'm sure there's more of us out there as well.
Well, you mentioned that you're getting sick a lot as well. So think of there's probably something that you're doing that you can do less of as well. Better time management, something that's taking your energy either, at the end of the night that you can put down to get some extra sleep, to maybe exercise a little bit more. Because if you end up getting sick, getting burnt out, then you're just no good anywhere.
Yeah. And I just went through this because I'm like, well, wait, how do I know if I'm burnt out? Because I love what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. It's important for me to just take enforced rest on the weekends. I don't want to have to learn from bee stings and sprained toes or my kids getting sick.
Yeah.
But when you really love what you do, it can be hard to put it down. And our life and our balance is the best in our family when we just take weekends off. So really excited to see how this all plays out. I love this direction.
Thank you so much.
Bring your Venus and Leo AI art. Like, heck, I'm about it. All right, cool. Let's
This
go.
is so amazing.
Leah, work our way back.
Hey, Alice, do me a favor. I see your hand coming up every single time with your little cat or dog, with your little animal over there, a little hairless dog. It's a cat. Okay.
She's not good at that game.
Do me a favor, go down to the bottom here, where it says reactions, where the little heart is. Put your digital heart on, your digital hand on, so that we can see you. I don't know if we'll be able to get to you today, but I know we instructed people otherwise today, but I'm seeing a clear line of people. Okay, Leah, go ahead.
Hi, so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm quite new to Safehouse and Magic. We had the onboarding process. I started with Ritual just 12 days ago. So
Okay, I think, yeah.
and yeah, that was me. And I've got a coaching business I did for several years. I was totally in love with spiritual, philosophical, psychological, how do you say that, direction. It's called the Three Principles. And I did like the Rich Litwin thing for a long time, and it just worked, and one-to-one and group coachings. And slowly I fell out of love with my business. And this summer, it was like for the first time, nobody or just one person wanted to have the teacher training that I did for several years. And it was like, yeah, there is something to see, there is something to do, there is something to change. And so I stumbled over Onami, over you, and I just felt like here it is. I really need to change things, and I want to have an online business. I didn't have an online business, even though I'm online in a way. I've got a podcast and on Instagram and people and but I didn't sell online. It was through invitation and mouth to mouth, and it really worked in the niche. And now I know there is a lot to do on the second and the third point. I really need to learn new things and going into tech and like redo the courses I did, and all that stuff is going on. And now it's like, am I in the right course right now? Or and I really want to take my time. I really want to take a year. I really want to see it through. And I'm really good at flow, and I do everything, and then people appear and we work and money flows in. But I didn't do like the strategic and the clearer side of my business, or not enough. And now I'm ready. I'm ready for that next step. And I really feel that the Enneagram is like the thing that was missing. Like, whoa, that's gonna be huge for my people.
Yes, and you'll love to
Yes,
take that. You're learning the Enneagram and everything
yes,
that you do. So
yes.
even after this, it's very common when we are talking, when we're launching our workshops and we're talking about how much we love this work and how much it means to us, you always want to do all of them. Like,
Yes, I do.
I can see that going on in your head because we got you doing ritual. We just talked
Yes,
about doing fuckless with
and
that
that's
one.
yes.
right.
So
That's what
Vectoring.
I'm not sure. Shall I just let go of like life? I love life. I love to see you, hear you. Shall I stay in ritual and then fuckless and
yeah,
then like
definitely
erotic?
ritual. You're almost
Uh-huh.
halfway in. We don't like seeing students do more than 2 workshops.
Yeah.
I wouldn't start fuckless now since you're here in erotic wealth. You'll be done.
She's not doing erotic wealth. I'm not going to let her because I'll tell her that.
That's what I was asking. Yeah.
I'm not going to let
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
Might just
manifesting
start
generators, we
fuckless.
always tell them don't
I'm
more than one.
I'm a projector.
Okay, cool. The
Yeah.
manifesting generators always want to do all of the workshops at once. And we tell them not to, and then they like go and sneak and do it, and then they're like crying in Q&A the next day. They're like, oh, I'm doing so many things. And that's cool. Manifesting generators are here to start stuff and finish them. Manifestors are here to start things and have the others finish them. But for you, the projector, going at your own pace is going to be key. So we have a lot of people that are going to want to do something like this. And I just want to say, what you've been doing has been working for 12 years. What you've been doing has been working for 12 years. Do you want to have, but when all of the tricks suddenly stop working,
Yes, the
that's
trick stopped working. And
always
the group is getting dogmatic, like this whole principle. The master died, the teacher died, and now I feel like, oh, I don't like this whole dogmatic things going on, and it really shifts my teachings as well. So something is going on for
yeah.
real. Like,
It's time for an upgrade. So
yes,
a lot of people are going to want to do this with erotic wealth. Our ideal schedule for people, and we've been running this school for a while, and this school
yeah,
is the second version of the first school we
yeah,
were running. So we like to start people with ritual all the time to get clear about your money goals and where it is that you want to go. After that, if you don't have any passive income, it's a really good idea to get your passive income on lock. And that is something that we do in Fuckless.
yeah.
In erotic wealth, the quickest way to move through it is if you already have passive income and now you're ready to grow that passive income into being the strongest money channel that's actually in your life. Now, not everybody is going to be on this journey. There's a lot of people taking erotic wealth that are going to come in and they're going to do the first half of it and have the idea of all the things they know they need to do. But building passive income or creating their first passive income launch is going to be a very small entry on their to-do list that's actually going to take them a lot of time. So for people that are doing erotic wealth that are not practiced in passive income and they have online businesses, they're going to have to take an extra long time at the halfway point, do all of Fuckless in the window, and come back and complete. Too rushed for you. This is also for people who, like, let's say that you have a job where somebody else cuts your paycheck, you like the way that that works, but maybe your partner or even just the creative side of you is wanting to start a new venture. You would also, at this point, at about the halfway point, be like, and now it's time for me to really put that neutral income to start posting on social media, etc. Now, I would prefer for people to just do things in order, but it hardly ever works out that way. But since you say I can take time, what I would really recommend for you, just do ritual, finish that out, and get your game plan going. And then make the decision, do I want to do online business? Yes or no? If you do not want to do online business, you don't need to do Fuckless. If you don't want to have social media, you've done 12 years without it, there's ways around it. But when you're done with ritual, come check in with us and please let us know if you want an online business or not. If you do want an online business, we'll have you do fuck lists. And then you'll probably just take a little break because you say, you know what, I'm going to repeat this process 2 or 3 times. I'm going to make 3 times the money. I'm going to build launches for all the products. And it's really when you have a few different buttons you can press for money in your life, that erotic wealth gets really fun.
Okay.
Relax. Which one of these really going to pop off?
Okay.
And that is, and the reason why this can be different for people that are in partnership is that if you're, let's say that your partner has a really established business, they have insights, they have experience, they have data that you can tap because you're in a relationship with them. Do you need to learn how to ask them for help? Yes. Are you going to get their no? Sometimes, other times they'll be like, fuck yeah, buy a taco truck, let's do it. You know, so, but that's a way that part, because you're seriously bringing in a whole other mind with their expertise and everything. And that if you're just doing it for yourself, then you want to have a lot of experience on both sides of your brain, enacting the strategy, getting the vision, enacting the strategy, and on repeat. So take it nice and easy. There's no rush. There's no rush. Cool.
Thank you.
Let's do this couple over here. Let's do this couple, and then let's do Alice, because she raised her hand so many times, and then everybody else we're going to have to see you next support call, but that's what we're going to do. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
How are you?
Hi.
Good. I call this guy Ryan Gosling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is okay. I heard you say that yesterday.
Don't he look like Ryan Gosling though? Don't make his thumbnail bigger. I want to know. I don't want to see it close. I see like a 1-inch photo of you. It's Ryan Gosling. Okay, go ahead. And Ava Mendes, truthfully, yeah, because they're actually married in real life and they have a wonderful
well, welcome.
Welcome.
Okay, so obviously we've been following since yesterday, and to put a bit of substance behind this, look at them too. You're still chatting.
She's trying to pinpoint your accent, but I think she got it wrong.
We're living in Mexico at the moment, but we're from London.
Okay.
London.
She thought it was Australian.
Goals.
Yeah.
That's Australia. Okay.
I've been listening to a lot of like British rap, so I knew that one right away.
Okay.
We can't rap. Only Christmas presents. That's about it.
Oh.
Okay, so tell us.
Yeah, so we 2 years ago we set up a spiritual magazine. Is now digital. It started off initially as a physical magazine in a place called Glastonbury in the UK. It's now read in 43 countries. We were just not long commissioned to do a bespoke magazine for a movie premiere and also for the Cannes Film Festival. So things are, in some regards, very, very, very good. We have writers all over the world that join us and collaborate with us. But for whatever the reason, we just can't work out what it is. The subscriptions, we only charge £10 for a year. So it's 12 monthly issues.
$12.
12, yeah, maybe $12 or something like this.
For
the whole year. For the whole year.
For a monthly digital magazine, over 100 pages. 100
pages every month.
Oh yeah. Got it.
We're just not getting the feedback we get is, oh my God, your magazine is amazing. It's so beautiful. It's helped us on our awakening journey. Just the subscriptions just don't.
It's like a blockage because everyone shares the magazine. A lot of the writers, a lot of people that collaborate just are fascinated. So the feedback is amazing. The magazine, it caters for everything, all different
elements of spirituality,
elements and everything. We're both in our own little type of things that we believe and do. But there is just like a blockage. We've had a lot of persecution, a lot of attacks, a lot of envy from the other side and everything. So
great. Wonderful.
I know.
Good job. You made something people are jealous of.
Things about you is obviously a positive. It means you're doing something right. If you're pissing,
and they're not gossiping about you, then it's something wrong.
Exactly.
Plus, spiritual people only have like one burn too. They're, oh, you're so unspiritual.
Oh no.
We have an A level in swearing and everything else.
Oh yeah, we're raw.
Completely.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what we want to do. We want to know if, obviously I've been following your page on Instagram as well. and love the videos. And obviously I told my partner about you guys, and I said, let's try this out. We should try it. So obviously we just logged in yesterday with the masterclass that you had. Obviously today we've gone on board. So we just want to know if this is going to help. Of course it helps, because I know you say it does help when you get all the elements. But that's where we're at. So we're really passionate in what we're doing. It's already been established. It's just getting the subscribers. We get some people saying that you're charging too little, and then people won't see it as something a bit prime. But then we just want to be able to cater for everyone. We shouldn't have a limitation. We just want to be affordable for everyone. So
because the messages within each page, within each paragraph, are there to aid people's journeys, whether it be about meditation, whether it be about chakras, whether it be about herbal remedies, gut health, anything. There's a message there for somebody, and regardless of your status in life, I think we believe that everybody should be able to afford to have access to the magazine. So which is why we charge £10. It's like an exchange of energy, if you like. If you bear in mind there's 9.8 billion people in the world, and 2.8 was it 2.8 million 2.5, whatever is spiritual people that are deemed spiritual. That's still a lot of people to go after. It's just,
so we just want to know what it is
what
that
we're
we
missing.
can use. What is it that we're missing out?
And you guys actually already know the answer for this, but we'll get it out of you. But financially, you're trying to please everybody, and like anybody who's tried to please people can say, is the more you try to please people, the less pleased they are. So
you've thought many times down the road about making Safehouse $10.
Oh,
make it $10.
At least once a year, like $10.
Yeah.
But people just won't finish it. So I'm just going to ask the chat to help us here, both on Instagram. Can you guys tell me something that costs $12 a year? I know that my Canva costs me $12 a month. I know that Amazon Prime costs $16 a month, but I can't think of anything, not even the educational apps. What costs $12 a year? You guys say, someone says, I don't understand the Enneagram with planning. Yeah, it takes years, babe. So it takes years. I'll teach you as best as I can, but it takes years. Took me years. Hopefully it won't take you that long. So let me ask you guys, while the people are explaining to us what costs $12 a month, what do you know needs to happen in the business? What do you know needs to happen that you're hoping I'll say to you and it'll be official that you actually have to do it?
What do we need? What do we know that needs to happen? Well, we need to, I think we need to change the price, our mentality maybe towards the price, to cater for everybody at that price. I think it needs to be more of, because we've in essence funded this journey ourselves for the pure love of humanity, but it is a business.
It is a business. Business. It's like, if you lower the price, you're attracting that vibration. Exactly. I think about the energy. If you're doing it
nothing costs $12 a month anymore. $12 a year. Nothing costs $12. I need to cut bangs, I think. I'm really feeling the call of like cutting some bangs.
What have y'all ever thought about going having a physical?
No,
we used to have that. Yeah, we used to have that, and we tried that in Glastonbury. Everybody loved it. We couldn't please everybody because more people wanted it, but obviously the cost of printing and everything else, it was just they were kind of taking liberties where people wanted more expectation from us, like, well, we should put our adverts in for free as well, and you should provide that for us for free. This is the word we get all the time.
I'm gonna clean this up with these guys here real fast. So you want to raise the price. This is actually a little preview of what we're doing in lesson 1. So we'll have a chance. You guys will be prepped on this, but it'll be very easy when we get to that lesson. You guys will just bam, bam, bam. So the intention is, you guys know you need to raise the price. And what's immediately from your gut, what does it need to cost? Tell me first, do you want to do per month or per year?
The option of yearly and also monthly, so they can have the option of monthly.
Well, if you look at Vogue or any of these magazines, they have the
yearly or monthly.
Don't they? So.
It's a double-edged sword. I truthfully prefer monthly, even though getting that annual, everybody loves the cash injection of annual. But I prefer monthly. Come whenever, leave whenever. Come whenever, leave whenever. I don't have to prove shit. Come whenever, leave whenever. And that's I actually much prefer that. It's less, it's slower, it's steadier, it's got passive income written all over it. So immediately from your gut, what does it need to be a month?
Realistically, it's probably got to be.
No, not realistically, just from your gut.
Okay.
I'd say $12.
You think that's too much? But maybe £5.
No. What did you say and said that's too much?
$12.
$12. Yeah.
There you are.
Yeah. 100 pages.
Yeah,
that's an assignment.
Because we do it all ourselves. So we write, we edit, we publish.
You guys, I'm not going to do this on the phone. But if you were to actually add up how many hours, you guys are going to find out that you make like fucking £3 an hour.
That's even a good day.
That's a good day.
Like you guys are going to find out that you're being like heavily underpaid. A really good book on this as well. Actually, no, you guys will be in. Don't do it. You don't want to know, but you should know. If you were in Ritual, I'd be like, figure out how much you're getting paid an hour because you got to, Mexico. Yeah. Thank God you guys live in Mexico, right? Where you can sustain that.
Unless it's Mexico City.
No, Mexico City super cheap.
It's good.
No, we're in a real cool place.
Stay on target here. So we're gonna just run the line of supervision. So if we were, it's 12 times, charging 12 times as much as you're currently charging right now. So intention, we need a 12x our income. What's the immediate red flag? What's the immediate limitation that you see? The immediate conflict that would happen if you do that?
Most people's reaction to wanting things for free.
How do we feel about people that want things for free?
Move on, I guess.
I think it's interesting. Celebrities love free stuff. The swag bags at the Oscars are really a thing. Everyone loves free stuff. Our kids have, great toys, but whatever we find on the beach, we love. A little free thing here and there is great, but you have to pay for your work. You have to pay for your spiritual work. You don't get, and the thing is, well, you just have to. Yeah. So people's reactions, how do you think that people are going to react?
Well, when we increase it.
Yeah. Make the face. Yes, exactly. Yes. Changing the mindset around that is gonna be key. You value yourself. Yeah, lovely. Love a king for that. And the people that I refuse, you guys have sold out. Thank you. Thank you. Exactly. And you see, once we start talking about this, it's very clear how ready for this you are. Like you're like, obviously,
we've always led with heart over, I guess, trying to do things for love of humanity rather than our own pocket.
Yeah, but you need to pay bills and everything.
Yeah, we've come to the point 2 years down the line of hell no. And I think the biggest lesson recently was the movie company. Yeah, so they still owe us money, but
they owe us 30,000.
They owe us 30 grand. So it's a lot of money. Yeah. Taking the piss.
And you'll get it, but this is, you guys have been leading with the heart, and leading with the heart is super key and super important, but also we have to use our head. That's why we have one. And
this is where we're at, man. This is where we're at.
So you say you want to help humanity with this. There's not going to be this anymore if y'all can't get paid.
Yeah. And also when you're giving away things for free or too cheap, then it's like, you're only talking to people that are at a relatively low level of spirituality where they're still hoping that magic can make the money happen for them, and they're not valuing it. Like I use this analogy a lot, but like if you had a $70 pair of underwear and a $5 pair of underwear, which one are you going to wear when you're on your period? Not the $70 ones, because those are your fancy underwear. Like unless you're like, I'm going to do this because I'm in like my super cleanness, but you're not going to let, people don't value the things that they haven't paid for. So the tools, this is going to be where you guys are really, this is where we use a combination of data and also intuition so when we get to lesson 3, you guys are going to have to really be eyes open here. But what tools are we going to need to be able to go around this limitation? So for example, people are going to go, about it being a 12 times price increase, but this is not going to be something where you're just exclusively changing the number. You're changing yourself on the inside, and you're going to be asking yourself, how can $12 a month for this be the easiest thing for them? What's something that we can add to it? When we go through and we figure out the one part of the business that scales, we might look at what part of this is really the most electrifying for people. What aspect of this magazine is the part that people like the most? Maybe it's teachings around this or work around that, or maybe a call, but what's something that we can add to it and subtract from it to really make this like the easiest yes for people. When we get to lesson 5 and we talk about positioning in the marketplace, we'll really look at other business models that are similar to this. For example, Global Tea Hut. Global Tea Hut has a multi-tier, that's Wuda, his company. They have a multi-tier magazine, an in-person magazine. I think maybe 40 or 50 pages every 4 months is the subscription, but you can either get it with or without tea. They have, and their Global Tea Hut, they have in-person locations, they have online courses, they have a lot of different ways. But when we figure out your positioning in the market, it'll help you feel very secure that you are on the shelf next to the things you should be on the shelf next to. This is not, and I can speak from experience, that this is a big internal and external change. Just kind of developing a kink for people saying all the things that you hate to hear right now. Oh, you're inaccessible to everybody, or you're this and whatnot. And the only way you're really going to feel confident about this as well is when we get to lesson 2, when we identify, I'm sorry, lesson 3. No, lesson 2. Yeah, lesson 2, next Thursday, where we identify the core values of the business. You'll feel a lot better once you have those, because you'll be like, okay, we know that we can grow this big, but we'll keep hanging on to the things that make us us. But to close out your question here is like, what you need to do, but it's just an overhaul and it's scary. You're definitely in the right place for this. We definitely cover this in Erotic Wealth. You're on my radar. I will be thinking of you when we're teaching different things, but you know what needs to be done. You've known what needs to be done for a really long time. If you do Erotic Wealth, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
We're gonna do that, and it doesn't matter. Just one more question for you guys. How much are you guys taking in a year from these subscriptions?
Oh gosh. No, you're the one that does the finance. It's not that much. Obviously, we've got side work that we work as well. We do content writing and all that stuff. But we probably, from just the business, not that, probably like over 60K, 60,000.
Yeah, that's not that bad. So we never get rid of money. We never throw away money. So what we would definitely be looking at in Erotic Wealth is, how do we set this more passive? So for example, can we take old articles and refresh it? Can we make a new tier with advanced teachings? Can we do something different? But we wouldn't get rid of that 60K. We wouldn't even hint at people. And this is the mindset that changes, because there's already resentment there of like, I'm giving you so much. Why are you so ungrateful? Knowing that the end is in sight with this, we can treat these customers differently and be like, no problem. And when I have my next party, you can't come. And that's fine. So that's what we would be covering here. So thank you guys. Whether you guys choose to do this or not, I hope that, I wish you the best of luck. But what we just did here, you guys are both in your spiritual, creative, heart-led, and all we had to do is ask the male side of you, which you guys both have, what needs to be done. She knew it right away. You're negotiating a little bit more, but that's also why there's 2 minds. If she says 12 and you say 5, maybe the truth is 7, but it's really, do you guys know what your human design is?
Manifestors. I'm a low 6.
You're a low 6 and I'm a 6, high 6 too.
You're both manifestors? Oh, a team. Yeah, you're going to need a team. And that's cool. That's exciting one day. But yeah, a team to finish the thing. You just tell people what the price is and they'll eventually go along with it. But you guys don't have the availability to just answer right away. How much are you going to charge for it? And you make the decision right here. When you're talking to me, you guys get my will and you'll be like, oh, and then you go into your own space and you're like, Not consider this. So use your data and use your time to find out, it's going to be a lot of data for you. What do we want to charge and all of that. So that's a great combination of masculine and feminine. But for anybody that's in this predicament in business by themselves, what do you know you need to do? Because you're hoping I'm going to tell you something and put your feet to the fire, and then you're going to be stuck with it, and then you're going to have to do it. But you can do this for yourself, and that's something we're constantly looking to pass back to you. Just about any time people ask us questions, how do I go, how do you do this? Then because you want to be that for yourself. So super cool. You guys are doing great work, and it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better and better. Okay, let's ask, what was my friend with the cat? Did she leave? Did my friend with the cat leave? Oh, there she is right there. Okay, cool. I'm going to do you. We have just 5 minutes to do this. And then guys, just make sure if you're doing erotic wealth, make sure you know your way around the app and everything. We'll be there Thursday at 11. We got a big work going on at 11. So, on Thursday, make sure you've got your subscription and everything going. If you need help, support at Mommy Onami. Okay, go ahead. Someone who says, if you don't want to keep the money, there are many causes you can donate all or partial proceeds to. In the Bible, they talk about like giving tithing and 10% of your income. But money experts say never resist a generous impulse. So don't feel like you have to book in some charity or give away something. Don't ever feel guilted into giving money away that you don't want to give away. Not that this is what this person is doing, but never feel like you have to. Never do it for like out of pressure. But when you have a generous impulse to do something, don't turn it down. Like I really didn't like the cleaning lady that was at our Airbnb in Costa Rica. Like we just did not vibe whatsoever, but I had the strongest impulse the whole time to give her $1,000 cash for 3 weeks of cleaning. She was already getting paid and we tipped her, but to just give her a wad of cash, and it just felt right. So don't resist that generous impulse when it comes up, whether it's with time or with money. And that's a good policy with charity. All right, go ahead, Alice. We're going to speed round this one.
Oh, goodness. So I guess my question is, I have a long history of entrepreneurship. I have multiple businesses that I've run in the past. However, I have a background similar to yours. I was trafficked through a Pentecostal church movement and forced to marry my youth pastor and got stuck there for 16 years. And so from the ages of 16 to 32, I worked for the church. I wasn't allowed to leave. I wasn't allowed to go to the doctor. I wasn't allowed to do things like that. But my husband got my paycheck in his name. So I had absolutely no experience with money, but I could fucking work, and I did. And so when I finally got divorced, COVID happened, and I had just gotten this 3,000 square foot gallery basically given to me. And I had, because I had no financial literacy, I had other people come in and help me with that leg of the business. And that sustained me for a little while, but it always ended up being that my last two male partners' businesses that I helped them create or fix were thriving. And then at the end of the relationship, I was left penniless or, in worse shape than I was when I came in. Now I'm in a relationship. I've done a lot of the work. I've been through 5 years of intensive, both holistic and clinical healing. I'm sure you're very familiar with the process of reprogramming and going through that. I've been dating this guy for about 1.5 years, moved away to be in the area with him so we can start a business. He's very safe. He's very vanilla. He's much older than me. But I found that when it comes to eroticism, sex, sexuality, like we've really kind of lost any connection we had almost like immediately after I moved. And a lot of it, I think, stems for me from I'm a brilliant artist and I have a lot of really brilliant projects going on right now, a lot of opportunities, and I continue to attract people who want to stand in my light while secretly like not honoring me and not treating me respectfully. And this man is not a bad man, he's safe, but he's a 60-year-old white man who's had no negative experiences and
So
few
what do you love
negative
about him? So what do you love?
What?
So what do you love about him?
I guess like that he's been there for me, and I guess that I've always kind of viewed my relationships almost like assignments. I grew up in foster care, and so I don't get in a lot of relationships but when I do, it's like there's a lot of signs leading up to meeting that person. And then when I meet that person, there's so many synchronicities about this person that it feels fated. And so that's kind of the situation. I love working with him. I think that he's a brilliant man, and he's very supportive, but we're involved in the Burning Man community, and some of his tribe have just like downright abused me, and he cannot stand up to them. He's such a people pleaser. They can't put him in their place.
So annoying. Yeah, it's really,
Yeah.
I swear to God, like I've gotten really resentful. I want my man to protect me, you know, like but that was also, I don't know if I'm happy with how what I've learned is that no amount of hoping someone else will protect me is a appropriate substitute for me sticking up for myself. And it's been disappointing to me that I have to stand up for myself, but now I'm seeing it be really useful in the sense that like I stand up for my kids much quicker. Like there was a TSA agent that was like really hassling my son about going through the metal detector, and I really checked him and put him in his place. He's a child. And it felt really good for me to stand up for my kids in that way. And that was the first time. And now I'm constantly like sticking up for my kids. I don't care about how anyone else sees the situation. I'd rather you think that I'm crazy and I'm a bitch than have my kids be subject to you barging into their life and being their boss. But let me ask you something. You've heard everything that you've just told to me. What do you know about what men supply you with in your life? What do the men consistently bring to you that you haven't had to cultivate in yourself as a result?
Up until him, I looked for men for a witness or protection because I was living in the same city with the pastor who was continued his ministry and actively abusing me. And like people from his ministry would show up at my work and like drug me, and I would like have these encounters. So prior to him, men served the purpose of protecting me from my ex. But now that I moved and I'm here
In the
and
new
I'm safe,
church,
I'm sorry.
in the new Burning Man church.
Yeah, and I'm back in that situation where I speak up about something that happened to me a year ago, and I'm ostracized from the community and treated like crap. And I am also autistic, and a lot of people, I've noticed a lot of the people that I attract are very compassionate to me and understanding in front of my face. And then they'll play this whole like, oh, she's autistic with a bunch of trauma, and play this like side, which I do see in him, where like I'm a great man because I have this broken woman. And I'm not a broken woman. I'm a woman that was beat down, that got herself the fuck back up. So that's where
I'm just gonna
thank you.
Unfortunately, I have to keep this moving kind of fast. So it might seem that I'm being insensitive or a little too direct, but I'd much rather have that than waste your time.
I appreciate direct. Thank you.
Who made the first move? You or him? Tell me about the first time you met him, that you had contact with him.
I was invited to a burn, and he was the organizer of the camp, and I had the same company name as his camp. So it was just kind of this kismet thing. So over text, it was that way.
Okay. Who sent the first text?
About business, me. About who switched the nature of the tone to flirtatious, him.
Him? Okay, cool. But who made the first move?
He did.
He did?
100%. Yeah, he pursued me, and I'm kind of did one of these, but there was a lot of chemistry there in the beginning.
Okay. So because what I'm trying to figure out here, are you attracting them or are you seeking them out? It's a good thing to figure out, because a lot of times we're not a lot of times we don't have a type, we have a pattern. So people can supply that pattern in all kinds of different ways. And if you recognize the pattern, then you can break it. Here's the pattern not being stuck up for. But you actually have to break that. Simply recognizing that you're in a pattern and then trying to make it fate, trying to make it divine. Oh, well, God has just chosen me for this special assignment to have a really shitty time and live off of crumbs when everybody else eats. That's where it becomes problematic. If you can recognize that you're in a pattern, then you can break that pattern. But if you refuse to recognize that you're in a pattern, and you don't take responsibility for it, you're just going to end up in more and more of those. And that really sucks. So when it comes to financial literacy, how literate are you financially? You're very creative and you're a brilliant artist, but when it comes to representing the value of your work in the field, is this something that other people have usually done for you, starting with the youth pastor handling the finances?
I can get grants. I can do all that kind of stuff. It's the managing of the money and the tediousness. And to answer, like, I've broken a lot of these, and your stuff has been really helpful. And I've also been through like hypnotherapy for years and CPT and stuff.
Really focused on that one part.
So I'm breaking a lot of those problems now.
We're not going to go into, we're going to stay super focused just on this.
Yeah.
Because this is the little linchpin right here.
Yeah.
So you can make the money from age 16. You've had no problem with that. You were even trafficked. So making the money, but as far as being able to keep the money and manage the money, where are you with that today?
Not good. I don't understand it.
Yeah. This is your masculine that is deflated and lacking. You're getting it, but you're not holding it. This is an old pattern, and this is still very prevalent for you today. Spoiler alert. When you develop financial literacy, which is going to feel hard for you, why should I have to do this? I shouldn't have to. Couldn't I just get a boyfriend? Couldn't I just have somebody else do this for me? Yada, 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 yada. You're never going to be satisfied until you learn how to do it. You have to learn how to do it for yourself. This is the pattern of the toxic masculine that you can choose to break for yourself. I don't care what other patterns you've resolved. Good work. Every single day of your life has been overcoming something because you were born with such fucking disadvantages. I guarantee you there is a massive paycheck with your name on it, but you can't hold it because you don't speak that language yet. So learning how to do that is a non-negotiable for your happiness on this earth. If you were working with me, I would expect you to really squirm about this, get mad. I don't want to. It's hard. I don't have to. No, you're trafficking yourself. Continuously trafficking yourself. Forcing yourself to go out there and get the money and then not even be able to experience the delightful repercussions of that, which would only lead to, as the pattern expands, actually needing to find a partner so you can have some type of financial landing pad for the later years of your life. It'd be, you're lucky that you're catching it right now. So that's your masculine. That's what you would need to work on, and learning how to represent yourself strongly in the marketplace would be key. I would not actually recommend Erotic Wealth for this. It would be risky. Yeah, I bet you'd squirm like crazy in that 40 days, but do it. If you haven't you'd squirm, you can do it in January. We're all doing it together. But something that I do want to say about Erotic Wealth, when it eventually finds itself on your horizon, I really wouldn't recommend doing it before you are very strong in your financial mind and very comfortable having, and maybe read a couple books about money. Money, a Love Story, I think would be a good one for you. That's by Kate Northrup. But all I can say is when it does come time to do Erotic Wealth, this story of sexual abuse and trafficking that you have rearranged so many different times, yet it's almost as if every single day you have sat down and been offered a plate of like roast beef and potatoes. And every time you do the processing of this work, they give it to you on a plate in a different way. So you're like, wow, this presentation is beautiful. Look, you made a rose out of this meat and you made a thing out of this potato, but it's always the fucking meat and potatoes of that sexual trauma over and over again. And something that I can promise you is that when you alchemize this trauma, you're going to get a plate of something different for the first time. And you're going to know that you can have a different plate every time that you sit down to eat. And no matter how alone you felt in this story and the way that the story comes around with you, that when you make contact with your deity, that it just, from experience, to be able to take that specific story off of your shoulders and have it given to a deity that has chosen you. Like, and this is where the sex magic is like so fucking important and magical to me. By the time it's time to offload that story, the synchronicities of how could they have known this? How could they have known this? How could they have done, like, how is it possible? How is it possible that in lesson 1, I saw the first glimmer of this? It will be too synchronous to be able to dismiss. And at that moment, you'll be able to feel what it's like to offload that story into more capable hands and start to get a new plate. So you got a lot of work on your plate. I would get to work on that as soon as possible. But ritual, I actually wouldn't even wait. If I were you, I would get into the 40-day money ritual as soon as possible. But if you need that strong hand guiding you, you can do it with us as a group. But you basically need to just know every fucking nook and cranny. I want you to imagine your money story like a kitchen. You can't go in there and cook. You need to open up every shelf, take out every spice, wipe everything down, wipe every corner, throw away the crap, put it back in more organized. And the chances of you realizing that after doing this, that you don't need a man at all, never have, never will, is most likely going to come up. And all that will be left over from that is, so do you want a man? And there's a very good chance that this person you're in a relationship with, when you take out all the need from the relationship, maybe you want them, maybe you don't. But if they're not the right one, the next one might be, because it'll be correct. Very strong, long pattern here. Burning Man is the new church. Drugs, it's all relevant. So I want to thank you so much for sharing the story. I want to thank you guys all so much for being here on this support call. I can assure you, I'm going to be here on these support calls. So making sure that everything is right and tight. Maybe I'm controlling, maybe it'll be different the next round. But when it comes to making sure you have enough information to go forward, I want to always make sure that you have enough information to go forward. So let's get our workouts in. Come to the chat. I will see you guys on Thursday. Thank you all so much for being here, and have a wonderful day. That was really fun. Bye. Thank you. Bye, you guys. Bye, you little toots.